15 of 19 series are aligned with STAGFLATION mild this morning. That is full system agreement on a mild stagflationary configuration across the framework. The current macro regime is STAGFLATION mild, with a confirmation score of 19 out of 19. In this configuration, the macro regime is defined mathematically by growth momentum decelerating at -0.5919 and inflation momentum accelerating at +0.0081. The coherence score and the confirmation score together indicate that all 19 series in the environment view are synchronized around that pattern, and historically, regimes with a confirmation score in this range have persisted in 52% of comparable cases over a 3-month window. Compared to last month, the regime has strengthened from a lower alignment reading to this full 19 series confirmation, while growth deceleration has deepened and inflation acceleration has nudged higher. Historically, environments with mild stagflation signatures have coincided with mixed equity returns, firmer commodities, and more uneven performance across credit and duration, all as observed behaviors in the data, not instructions. Turning to the 4 key signals, start with yields. The MOVE index sits at 73.33, which the framework classifies as normal rate volatility. That corresponds to a green label for stability, defined quantitatively as MOVE residing between the 15th and 35th percentiles of its 2-year distribution. In 7 of 13 comparable periods, this coincided with Treasury total returns clustering tightly around their trailing 1-year averages within the following month, a description of past clustering patterns in the sample. Next is labor. The engine's labor proxy, anchored on PAYMs, is flagged red. Red here means the rate of change in payrolls sits in the weakest tercile of its history, combined with at least one confirming deterioration in related labor series. In 6 of 10 comparable periods, this coincided with further softening in composite labor indicators within 3 months. That is a pattern from prior environments, not a directional statement. On credit, spreads in credit volatility are classified as yellow or neutral. Yellow is defined as spread levels and spread rate of change residing near median values on a 2-year lookback. In 8 of 14 comparable periods, this coincided with credit total return curves that were relatively flat, neither strongly risk-on nor stress-driven, over the subsequent quarter in the historical sample. For equities and commodities, the sector tape has a pro-cyclical tilt. Technology gained +2.48%, and energy +1.79%, while utilities fell -2.97% and real estate -1.64%. The engine assigns a green cyclical leadership label when growth and commodity sectors post top quartile relative strength against defensives. In 9 of 14 comparable periods, this coincided with elevated sector dispersion and frequent leadership rotation over the next month in the data set, rather than uniform index behavior. The conditional map tracks specific if-then patterns derived from prior observations. If the 10-year Treasury yield crosses 4.45% and holds that level for 5 consecutive sessions, behavior in 9 of 11 comparable instances showed the inflation composite accelerating in the subsequent window. Within a stagflationary macro regime, that would mark an historical tendency toward stronger inflation signatures when long yields reprice higher and stay there. If the fear and greed index drops below 15 and holds for 5 consecutive sessions, behavior in 7 of 9 comparable instances showed a deterioration in the regime confirmation metrics. In prior cases, extreme fear readings have coincided with weakening regime coherence, rather than reinforcing it. The map is live. These conditions are being monitored daily across all 19 series. Atlas is the automated rules-based engine inside Given Analytics. Atlas is an automated rules-based engine that does 2 things in parallel. It publishes a view of the broader macro environment, and it runs a fixed 4-layer mathematical framework across 407 symbols every trading day. The environment view and the symbol-level condition log are separate outputs, shown side by side. The regime does not select the symbols, the 4 layers do. Atlas monitors symbols independently of any regime label. Members study the outputs and decide what, if anything, to do with them. Atlas runs a fixed structure: price structure, rate of change, risk regime, and market participation. across the same 407 symbols each session. When all 4 layers align on a given symbol, Atlas records that alignment as a potential configuration under the framework, time-stamped and archived. These logs are historical records of how the 19 series and the 407 symbols have behaved under different environments. They are may and potential observations, intended as educational inputs to a broader process, not as a source of decisions by themselves. Atlas runs the math. Humans interpret the environment and the logs in their own context. The morning brief is the public surface. The live Atlas dashboard shows the full 19 series regime map, today's mathematical conditions across 407 symbols, and the historical archive side by side. Members study the environment and the Atlas outputs each morning. If you want to track this alongside us, the live view is at givenanalytics.com.